Hey everyone, just a recap of just what we've been going through. We are in the middle of an eclipse season, so it's a very spiritual time. It's also the middle of a retrograde session, where all of those major aspects are in a sextile, which means that there are agreeable ways of how things are changing. But also, during this eclipse, the governor of Florida was not in his place. And usually during an eclipse, when someone's not in their space, it kind of does have an effect, but we're not sure how this is going to play out. We'll actually get to see just exactly what would be happening to him. But
hi guys,
First Amendment right suing from Disney, so that
comes out good.
Whole thing, which is a level.
Okay, I'm good. Hello everyone. It's Wednesday. It's April 26th. We are fresh off a Saturn square to the sun. We're fresh off of Pluto squaring up to the sun, as well as Mercury just began its retrograde. It has been almost a week since that eclipse, and then here we are. So I'll start off by saying is that the great news is that Pluto is getting ready to stand still and will not go any further, and go to its retrograde on starting on May 11th. And so it will still be in that 0 degrees up until like June, where it finally moves back into Capricorn. But the note here to look at is, first of all, I never expected that it would have this of effect. But in some way it has to happen. All our inhabitants, whoever you are, whatever you face, whatever thing you do that makes you a living organism. Think of it as Noah's Ark kind of thing. It's kind of taking into account of like who's who as the world changes. Wow, what an analogy. But this is as nasty as it could be, just because it's the fears of and the true depths of plutocracy in large consciousness patterns in our society, in our consciousness, what exists as part of how the world works in its organization towards like human organizations and the structure of that. And so what Pluto does is that it brings up where it is that it's not having its place as it should have. And so you see these things, but a lot of it is fears. A lot of it is real things are happening. Legislations and legislators are making moves to change things for people. Specifically, I'm talking about LGBTQ at this moment, just because I don't know. I feel like so much attention is on that. Which brings me to this. I guess I was watching Queer News Night, which is an amazing broadcast. It really is the only live broadcast that gives you a daily news of what goes on in that community, but also it's all the locals and all the people that share in that same wonderful community. One of the biggest things that Anchor was talking about was that Al Ferguson, he brought up a point. It's like, why are there no marches? I'd like to say that in the many years prior to this being an issue whatsoever, I think that community, specifically the gay population and the trans population, the drag queen population, they sort of like negated the importance of actual community at those points. If you had walked into a place and someone didn't think that you were attractive enough, you won't be part of that group. They will not speak to you. Even now that happens to you. You can go to an event that's about putting this whole thing together, and someone's going to make sure that you're not going to feel the inclusion that you should feel. And you want this from the world, yet the people who are in front of you, you fail to embrace. And even the photographer at this event that I went to, he was selecting who it is that he wanted to be on those photos, even though many of those people that showed up there needed to be seen because it's an event, that whatever, but he had his selective of who he thought. So just remember, discrimination within your group is still happening, and you want other people to like you. Anyway, I had to leave that maybe like 20 years ago and go off into my own world and reconstruct. So today I get to look at that from an objective point of view, because I was able to construct my life without having someone to validate like who I am or a group of people. But now today, when you have no support in a collective group, is because those individuals have decided that the only people they would like to select in their group were just the people that they were qualified to be in their sexual groups or sexual type, by their body type, by what they do, probably by how they make, but their ethnicity. There's discrimination going on everywhere within that group, and it's a diverse group, so you can't really expect that. But we all have one mindset, but you fail to embrace that time and time again. Over at the Capitol, there's only 300 trans. Really? Is that really how many? Why? Because you have no friends. You failed to make friends. You just want to express yourself and make everyone just accept that, but you had the other people, you shun them. You know who you're talking to. You know exactly who those people are. So until you figure out how to be an inclusive group with people, this is the only time in your life. This is your big lesson. You wanna be a group, then love the group that you want to be in. Stop. You're just on your own bandwagon. I've seen it. You do it to me all the time, and I'm a normal person that you could talk to. And it's all good. You're not looking for friends, and that's why there's no protest in Florida. And so I'm sorry. Moving on to a different topic. So throughout this time when the Sun and Pluto had conjuncted, just this week on Sunday and Monday, I started to begin to have all these things revealed to me about like my life, which is great because it's someplace I'd like to go. It's a frustrating part of myself that I'd like to have, and it deals with my creativity. And then the Sun is in my 5th house at the very moment, so I think I'm coming up to the Sun conjuncting Chiron. Oh, that's so funny. So that's gonna happen to me. But anyways, I'm learning so much about it that I have a moon square Saturn in my chart. My moon's my 7th house of other people, and Saturn is in my 10th house of like my achievements in my career. And there's always been this disconnect between them because I'm 43 years old, and I really had wished that I was someone else, not who I am physically, but like, how, just, I don't know how to explain it. Having a nice place to live. The moon has to do with the feminine aspect of the unconscious, so in this case it happens to be my mom. It does kind of like show like how it is and just what happens and how my expression is completely like subdued, and this whole thing just made me realize that, and the thing that was just like, how do I handle my Sun and how do I handle my Chiron in my 5th house? And it was just so much like, I don't need validation from anyone because everything that I need is within me. My excitement in me, my fire is within me, my joy, and all of those things are within me. So I guess I just have to just keep on doing what I do, and if people enjoy what I do, then that's how it goes. But I know that I say a lot of things that people can relate to, otherwise I wouldn't do it at all. There are deep things because that's what Chiron is about. It's about your whole entire heart space being like plucked out, and being renewed time and time again. The story of Prometheus. Anyways, the great news is that as Pluto goes back into its retrograde form, we're going to deal with these last minutes of humanity just expressing themselves. I'd like to say that the real reason why we have no alliance here in Florida for the LGBT group is just because those members had failed for a very long time to consolidate true friendships. Unfortunately, when you went to bars, people were just sizing you up based upon, you know, if you were a perfect sex partner. Unfortunately, this is how the public will look at you. Same for trans. People just look at you in a sexualized way, and you're paying for that. But you know, nobody else does anything different to show how they're just real people in society, really contributing. So you're gonna get this, you know. I guess the real thing is that we're up against people's perceptions of life. So that's where you are. Society's expectations. Because to be honest with you, every single time that somebody looks at a gay man that figures out that it's a gay man, the first thing they think about is that, you know, what kind of sex is he having? You know, same thing with trans, you know, how much sex do they have in one day? A man did that to me the other day over at a gay pride. I mean, they were throwing the condoms away, and a bunch of people, they dropped the condoms on the ground and stuff like that, you know. There are even people who came to that pride event over in Miami Beach. They dropped the flags right on the dance floor. They were staring at it, pointing at it, looking to see which person's gonna pick it up first. I'm telling you, man, these people are coming out to the same damn pride events, yes. And none of these fucking people are gonna show up to protest about anything. You know, they're there for a party. And I'm sorry, this is why people treat us this way, you know? That's why. Well, I picked up 2 flags and I put it back onto the thing. I picked up the condoms off of the floor because I know that they save lives. The man turned around and just said to me, "Oh, that's just one afternoon," and never bothered to say anything else to me for the entire time as he spoke to a woman instead. And so he had his own story that he was trying to tell someone, but definitely excluded me completely through that entire parade. I have clips, and I'll show you scenes of him that just never wanting to turn around to say anything to me. But this is why we don't have one. I hope this gets out. I hope that you start to love one another. I hope that it's just not about party and sex.